Good evening. I'm Uma Joy, and I'm here, I believe, as a solo tonight with the Creative Musings with Uma Joy and Kelly Bonzel. I believe that Kelly is traveling back from her holiday vacation, and last I heard, she wasn't going to be able to make it on time, but you never know if she might show up. And in the meantime, I guess it's more of a monologue than a dialogue between the two of us. So, I don't believe necessarily that everything happens for a reason, but I do love when things happen that kind of bring up a synchronistic quality to them. And yesterday, something on Instagram led me somewhere else, would lead me somewhere else. And I came upon a writing from a very dear friend of mine that actually passed in 2021. And somehow, even though this post was a year or two before that time, I had never seen it. But as I read it, the first thing that came up for me was I could hear her voice saying the things that are written here. And the second thing that came up was that this felt very relevant to share tonight. It's a short reading, and I am honoring Carmen Baraka, our sister, also known as Spirit Warrior. And this was posted in 2019. And Carmen was known for saying, just shift already. And the posting on Instagram actually was a photograph of her in some wild and crazy glasses, and someone had photoshopped it and given it back to her. Gina Fong Seidler had done some photoshopping, I guess, on it. But the point is of what I want to share and read to you, and it's not long. So, what does just shift already mean? Well, it's a quote of mine, meaning stop waiting to shift. You don't need to take another course or rise to some imagined plateau. Whatever you're working on or planning does not need to be perfection in order to shift. Just shift your consciousness and your vision and match it with your truth, and your shift will have begun. I feel that many people keep waiting to shift until particular factors are in order, and that's just BS. I wrote a poem a couple of years ago called Just Effing Shift Already. It was just before a party I was going to at Shiloh and Jonathan McLeod's Food, Wine, and Poetry. It was a bit tongue in cheek. I didn't get a chance to read it to the whole party, but read it to my table, which included Gina. So cool that she remembered. I was considering writing a book because I believe this waiting to shift is a real dilemma. I think it's more about being authentic to what you know deeply you came here to do and getting to it. What I'm advocating about this, how does your heart feel? How does your gut feel? Is this my truth? My intention? I truly believe we should just keep shifting as often as possible, raising our vibration, our awareness, our consciousness. How do you know your shift is authentic? Because you did it for yourself, not for others or what others think. Set yourself free. Have you ever driven a manual stick shift? In first gear, the car starts to shake the longer you wait. It needs to shift to second, and so on. When you feel out of sync with where you are or where you're at, it's probably time to shift. Be fearless, floor it, and shift. Share the gifts that only you have to offer. Blessings on your journey. Aho. P.S. And remember, joy is the guiding light. If joy isn't in the mix of your shift, then probably it's not the right shift. Just saying. So, again, that's Carmen Baraka's writing, also known as Spirit Warrior, a very, very dear soul that was on this planet for years, and it was time for her to cross over And from what I hear, her words that day were, "Oh my goodness, today is the day I get to walk on." So, as I read that and I hear her saying, just shift already. And the idea is, what are we waiting for? We can do it now. We don't have to have everything in order. We don't have to have it perfect. When, in intentional creativity and with Shiloh, our teacher, mentor, dear friend, it's like, you're healed enough is the words that we use. You don't have to have it all together. And, she says you don't have to take another class and, do another project or whatever. And so right now behind me, yes, I am taking another class, but it doesn't mean I have to wait to have those shifts happen. So being clear with what we feel, how does it feel in our heart, in our mind, in our gut? Is it our truth? Ah, yes, it feels right. Then that shift is already happening. And yes, I love learning. And in fact, this particular painting, January 1st, we started a new program with Museo or Intentional Creativity. It's called Prisma. And it's basically melding intentional creativity and healing. And as a chiropractor for 39 years now, um, that's what I do. And very often it brings the two of them together, whether it's a drawing or, just a doodle, whatever it is. And so we're looking at the science behind creativity and why that helps to shift into a healing process. And so, yes, I'm doing that process and I'm excited about it. And there'll be more things coming up because I want to do some offerings with that, just as working on it throughout this year. And so this painting is one of the pieces of it. Anthropos. What is the story of creation? And what is my story as opposed to what I've been told all my life? Is that true for me? Or what is the shift I'm making in what I believe? And I see that someone is here with me. And if you would sign in and say who you are, I would love to acknowledge you. And if you have any comments or questions as I continue on for the next few minutes, I'm always open to hear any input. Um, so the other thing that I'll share with you, and this has been kind of coming up in general for many years, and then it really came up when COVID started almost 2 years ago now, and it's like, what is it that I can do? And so a couple of mornings ago, in fact, it was New Year's Eve night, I did not go out to a gathering that was happening. And I woke up in the morning, and it was part of that was because it was starting to snow a lot. And it's like, well, do I really want to go out? And okay, so I stayed home. Hi, Guru Dharm, and it's good to see you here. Thank you for letting me know that you're here. So anyway, I got up in the morning, and there was about 6, 7 inches of snow on the ground. It gotten to 2 below, 5 below actually here in Taos. And so I went out, and the chicken coop. We've got 23 chickens. And so every morning I go out and let the chickens out and they roam free and I feed them and whatever. And then at night they put themselves to bed, but I go back and I close the door to the hen house and the gate to the coop area. Anyway, the snow had been so heavy that night that the chicken wire on the top was, way down. I couldn't even open the door. And it was so heavy, it was pulling part of the frame that held up the chicken wire, pulled it off of the chicken house. And it's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And, by now it's probably, 0 degrees as opposed to 5 below. And anyway, so the whole point of sharing that right now is, I could choose to be, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And upset. My son is actually on a trip for about a week and a half or so. And it's like I could, what the heck is he doing gone, when it's cold weather and I've got animals inside, and I could go off on all of these things, or I could say, what can I do? And this whole concept of shifting into that. It's like, okay, well, I can try to get the weight off of it. And it was actually quite comical. I wish I had a video I could share you. I was hitting the top of it. Imagine chicken wire, lots of holes on it. It was covered with snow. And so I'm hitting with a flat edge shovel. And every time I would hit, the snow would shower down on me and give me a shower. And I'd hit again and more snow would come down on me. But anyway, I got enough of it off that I was able to get it up and or get the wire up enough, brace it with the door, let the chickens out and what have you. And anyway, so it's been a very interesting time with just going with what shows up. And I like that. That's one of the things of my mojo mantra for 2022 is, yes, continuing to awaken, have open heart and open eyes, and just flow with the beauty of life, because this is what we have right now. And so, in the words of Carmen Baraka, I'll say it once more, just shift already. Because what are we waiting for? Is it until I get this, or I become that, or I can do that, or when I get this much money, I will do that? Whatever it is, I'll take one more class. I know I'll learn enough in that next class. And no, you are enough just as you are. And may you continue growing. May I continue growing. May we continue to learn and grow and share and open our hearts and continue to enjoy this life. So that's what I have for tonight. Thank you, Gurudaram. Love, love Carmen's words. Yes. Thanks so for sharing. You're very welcome. And it's nice to have you here. So anyone else that's here, before I sign off, if you want to say hello, and for those of you that catch this on the replay, I welcome your comments. Kelly and I are continuing our Creative Musings class on Thursday nights, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. Hi, Tony. Thank you for checking in, and you're very welcome. So yes, we're continuing Saturday or Thursday nights at 7 o'clock for Creative Musings, and we're looking at what else we will continue to do this year, with a number of offerings, some free, some low priced, but always fun, always creative. Hi, Dee. Nice to see you here. And look forward to connecting on Zoom and as we go forward into this new year. And if you want to put out any energy, just thinking about the studio that I'm working on getting built, getting that going forward, just talk to the architect today, and she's going to be up here in a short bit so we can make sure things are to code so I can go through all of the paperwork and get back on top of building a studio. So that's exciting as well. So I wish you peace and blessings. As Carmen Braca says, just shift already. Peace and blessings. Much love. Thanks for coming. Catch you on the rebound. Bye-bye.